Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, taking a quick break from work. I actually worked every day during my vacation, which was a terrible idea. But like I was exhausted until the weekend, but also just got back and hit the ground running. But anyway, every day I get, let's just say, several emails about this. Some of them angry, and some of them just kind of curious, like, yo, where's my add-on? So I actually discussed this in depth. I remember I was in San Antonio, but it was like the beginning of a comic review, and then I couldn't remember which one. So I'd be like, I already covered this. I don't even think that video's up anymore. But anyway, so ever since like the second or third crowdfunding campaign, I've offered add-ons, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's previously published books, which is referred to as back catalog. I'm sitting differently and like the words are coming out weird. Okay, so sitting up straight now. And so it was kind of like, oh, I've got these books, and especially like if it's like I'm selling Iron Sights 2, and then you can have an add-on for Iron Sights 1. And sometimes it would be like just, books from that franchise, and sometimes it would just be like whatever. It's like, oh, this is great, this is win-win. Because usually it's either no additional charge for the shipping or a very small charge. So especially if you live overseas, where like you order one book, you're paying like $25 shipping. The add-ons made it a much better deal because you could get like 4 or 5 books that were all good. And then the shipping per book. Okay, I'm explaining add-ons to people who are like, where are my add-ons? Who know what add-ons are. So anyway, I fulfilled a lot, but there's been an issue, and so it's basically 2 issues. Number 1 is we are on, just with the same company, the 3rd or 4th printer. I don't remember which one. So it's the same company, but they work with different printers all over the place. And we started off with a printer, really good, and they did like the image books, some Marvel, some DC, but I remember that it was mainly they did the image books and some other indies. And they were great. They had a dedicated office just for comics, because printing facilities, they print, newspapers, magazines, grocery store circulars, which is a huge business. But anyway, it was great that there was a dedicated office just for comics. And then during the the SJW era, when sales started to contract, and this is before lockdown, they shut that down. But they're like, don't worry, we're going to transfer you to another one. And if I remember at the time, there was only like a couple books, but they transferred the print files for all of them. So it sucked that we couldn't work with that dedicated crew, but it was fairly seamless. And there was this, it wasn't InDesign, Insight, InSite. There was this program where you could check it and you could see the crop and the trim and all that type of stuff. It was great. Then they kept consolidating. They kept saying like, oh, there isn't enough business for comics at this printer, so they moved it to another one. And so every time we moved, we lost some of them, to the point where, if you look at the screen right now, this is all we have. So we've got Iron Sights 1 and 2 and 3, Capture or Kill, Impossible Stars 2, First Kill, Jawbreakers Forever, Rock and Roll Ninja, thank God we have that one still, Cuffs Origin, awesome book, A New Kind of War, and posters. Usually the pinup posters are the cover art. So, and then, where is it? Then we've also got stuff that's in inventory. And then how many? So we've got like a bunch of Expendables. This is the hardcover, soft cover, bunch of First Kill. Lots of Jawbreakers dog tags left over. First Kill dog tags. Possible Stars 2, $4.99, Is This You, POD, Jawbreakers Forever, Cuffs Origin, Mind Your Business, A New Kind of War, Rock and Roll Ninja, Runner. Okay, 9 issues left of that. So there is 2 problems. Number 1, because if you have the print file on their server, it's very easy to just say, hey, give us 500 more of this. Or you can even be like, hey, give us like 50 of these, although they will print them on a different printing machine, and it'll be, if you just order like 50 or 100, it's a lot per unit. If you order hundreds or thousands, it's a lot cheaper. So number 1, every time we moved printers, like some of the print files would be lost. Now, if I have printed books on hand, then it's not an issue. But I started putting add-ons, not of everything, but a lot of things, basically on everything. So just keeping track of that was an issue. And then, I think it was last year, fulfilled a lot of stuff, a lot of books. But at some point, my bookkeeping with the backers lists, it got kind of sloppy. And apparently at one time I instituted color coding. That, I don't remember what it means. Now, green obviously means it shipped. What does yellow mean? What does yellow mean? I think yellow means I wanted to ship this, so I ran out of it. But it's going to be a lot of work. So I think I mentioned in a video recently that once I get a couple of books out, like Capture or Kill, Iron Sights 3 are at the printers right now. Other books like Superhero Fatigue, LAX just need to be lettered. Same with Jawbreakers Contingency. There's like 5 books that within like a month or so can be printed. So the goal is once I get those out, I'm going to spend a couple of weeks, like full time, just cross-referencing a bunch of spreadsheets of what is owed, because there might be some people have like 10 SKUs, and that doesn't count the pinups. So and yes, I have a lot of saved emails of people who like, I got this but I didn't get this type of thing. And so it's basically a mess with the print files, and then even like with just about to get like, Iron Sights 3 Impossible Stars 2, and it's like, you've got the print files for Iron Sights 1 and 2, that's great, but they don't have Impossible Stars 1, so we have to go recreate that. Again, it's not a huge issue, but it's still the whole process of creating the print file, creating the proof, checking the proof, approving the proof. And so it's just one of those, it's literally like, just start digging. Like, this is a solvable problem, but it's going to take time. So if you're asking where are my add-ons, they might be in inventory and will go out with your next order, but most likely some of them aren't in inventory and they have to be reprinted, and some of those don't have the print files, so we have to recreate them. So I think if you just want to call this a mess, I think that's an accurate description. Basically with the books, like new books, like LAX is going to be completely printed. So LAX is it just has to be, scripted, write the dialogue and lettered. Costume Maniac, all the art is done, but again, colored, lettered. So the next 2 new books will actually be done and printed and at the fulfillment center, and then the campaign will launch. But they won't have a bunch of add-ons because I still got to dig my way out of this mess. So if you've gotten an add-on or you are still owed it, you're going to get it. Everybody gets a book, a replacement for a damaged or missing book, or a refund. I have half a decade of track record on that. But that's just going to be shorter, but didn't take a long time. But yeah, so every order is going to be fulfilled. It's just that the add-ons are kind of an issue. So one of the good things about the add-ons is once I get a solid list, it can just be like, I still owe you this. So, next one, by that time, they will be reprinted and I'll attach them to that. It's still to be determined like what the sales of the next new books will be. There's been a lot of attenuation and fall off in the crowdfunding space. So it might be some fairly some fairly let's just be nice and call them realistic numbers. And this is happening pretty much across the board, even with people you've told are huge successes. They are selling a tenth of what they used to sell just 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So the mess is solvable, but it will take time. It's not like super fun or exciting stuff. This is usually the point where someone says, why don't you hire someone to do this? Well, here's the deal. Backers lists have people's addresses, and I don't trust like a random person I just met, like, hey, work on this. It's like, no, I trust the fulfillment center and myself to, keep that information discreet for all the backers. And so it's one of those things where I talked about in a recent video is like, oh, this is going to take a month. But I think like full-time, dedicated 8 hours a day, probably about 2 weeks. And just, cross-referencing. And it's also at this point, it's not like I have, 12,000 backers on every book. So it's literally to the point where I can just email some people and just be like, hey, what did you get? And then also, well, this is another side one, because people tend to stack up crowdfunded books and get to them like whenever. I've had a lot of people, it's like, hey, I never got this. It's like, you were actually in wave 5 that went out like last summer. And then they go to that stack and they go, oh yeah, I got it. And that's happened literally dozens of times. So just to reiterate, there's basically 2 issues with add-ons. One is print files. And I mean, I request it every single time. And then just some of them just don't make it. So some print files need to be reconstructed. That's not an issue. No pun intended. That's not a problem. Because we have everything to reconstruct them. It just takes time. And then the other issue is with, literally dozens of backers lists, especially when you get into tabs for like different, like, this is the book, and this is the book with one add-on. This is the book with, bundled with this. So especially when you break it down into tabs, it's dozens that have to be cross-referenced, which can be done. It's just very time-consuming. So it's funny, at one point, I had this idea, this good idea, fairy idea. It's like, well, everyone's angry at me because it's like, woke Zach hates you. It's like, why don't I just buy the books back from those people? It's like, wait a minute. I'm not going to buy books back from people who hate me. They're going to do something to those books. And also, like, that's a completely different deal. So I was like, well, maybe I'll only buy back, like, books where they haven't opened the Gemini mailer. It's still in like somebody's funky ass bedroom for the last 3 to 5 years. Like I went on a vacation with some friends, and we actually got to the point where it's like there was enough like delays that we had basically been in the multiple different airports for like, oh my god, like 15 hours between multiple airports and multiple flights. And at some point, the perfume wears off, and the body lotion wears off. All the scents wear off, and then you just smell the person. And I'm not saying my friends smell bad, but nobody smells good after like 15 hours in airplanes and airports. And I'm just saying, like, there is kind of like a funk, in people's rooms that like, I don't want to buy back those books. So these are all books that are in the, the fulfillment center, and are in the inventory or are reprinted and sent directly there. None of them took a side quest into someone's funky bedroom for 3.5 years. But yeah, so it's either the books ran out in inventory and the print file has to be reconstructed, or we have them, but the backers lists need to be all cross-referenced against each other to see what actually went out. And yes, emails still help. I have a whole folder just for emails like that. And that will help with the cross-referencing. But I don't have a timetable on it. I would definitely say this year. Like I said, I got about 5 books that are going to be, what is this? Yeah, basically by the end of August should be able to get printed. So, I mean, if I were to give an estimate on when they would get worked on, I would say September timeframe. But already some of them, like Impossible Stars 1, has to be reconstructed to go out with that bundle, and then probably start working on the Jawbreakers. Some of them, if I just have like 24 people, yeah, that might get into the realm of, hey man, let's just give you a refund. But some of them have hundreds. And then the other one that is new is the hardcover for First Kill still has to be constructed. That's actually really not that difficult. Again, once I get these 5 books out, probably do that along with the, what was the word I was using? Cross-reference all the backers lists. I went for a while. How long was I talking? 10 minutes? 15 minutes. Anyway, thanks for watching.